Hello everyone, I am Madhav Gandhi, Project Manager at Pharmacist Academy. I am welcoming you all to another episode of a book discussion here at Humans of Pharma by Pharmacist Academy. We focus on different pharma stories which are based on pharma career, one's pharma journey, current affairs, and some book discussions. Today, we'll have a discussion on the book called The Penta Life and its author, Amlesh Ranjan sir. In today's post pandemic world, we are all searching for answers to our questions about happiness, well being, and success. With deep experience in coaching and emotional intelligence, Amlesh sir shares his mantra for lasting happiness and success in the Penta Life. In this interview, we will discover the wisdom within the book The Penta Life and the man behind it. To introduce Amlesh sir, he has the experience of 34 plus years in the leading global organization with over 17 plus years of experience in leadership roles. He managed SBU Operations, marketing and sales, commercial excellence, market access, CAM. His transversal and pan corporate experience helped him to deliver enhanced value as a coach, mentor, expert, and faculty. He has been an active voice in the industry, delivering keynotes and chairing panels for over a decade. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for your presence today. So, sir, can you share your personal experience or moment that inspired you to write the Penta Life and explore the five dimensions of life?
Sure. Let me tell you, the quest for life, the exploration of life, started pretty early for me. But the real trigger for the book happened during the pandemic. We know that during the pandemic, almost everyone was getting impacted. All were affected. And in the second wave, eventually, even we, all of our entire family, all of us were impacted really badly. And one of those afternoons when I was at my lowest low ever, looks like. And then at that point in time, the questions started coming to you. You really understood. Almost all of us have understood the importance of life, possibly in that period, a little more than what we do. We really value life. So the question started coming to me: what, who, and what really matters in life, and why and how true the true and lasting happiness can be really achieved. What really matters? These questions related to life started coming to me again and again, and that created a trigger. That trigger, I took it back into my, as I said, that quest for life started very early in my life journey. And so I took it back to all the learnings which have been there over a period of time, all that I have read, all that talks that I have heard, all the experiences I have had, as far as life per se is concerned. And I have had a very deeply lived life. So I would take all that back, and that's where the book, kind of the thought of the idea of the book emerged, and a outline also got structured in no time, because I have had enough and more to put on paper now.
It's wonderful to know that, sir. I completely agree that during COVID, we all were having so many questions. Students were facing some other difficulties. Professionals must be facing some other sort of difficulties. But one thing we got in common was obviously a lot of questions coming about life. So, sir, moving to my next question, it's related to your origin. Your background mentions growing up in the land of Magad, knowing for its spiritual significance. How did your early environment influence your journey and of self-discovery and exploration of life?
Yeah, quite a lot. You talk about impact and inspiration. I mean, how lucky I was that I was born and brought up in the land of Buddha and Mahavira. I the famous ancient Nalanda University operated from those lands, and so there was enough and more inspiration for me. And luckily for me, I could actually cycle around those historic ruins, those ancient ruins, and I spent a lot of time in those areas where you can have see a lot of monks and saints are always there in those, around those historic areas. Some modern stupas are also there, some temples are also there, and there only one chance encounter with a monk is what started my journey into exploration of life as a 12, 13 years of age. And that story actually I have mentioned right at the beginning of my book. Yes,
Okay,
very inspiring. Magad, absolutely. I mean, I have dedicated my book to Magad.
that's quite interesting to know, sir, and amazing to us spectators also. So my next question, sir, would be: you spent 22 days inside a Buddhist pagoda, practicing noble silence and vipassana meditation. Can you tell us this experience, how it impacted your perspective to life and well-being?
Yeah, so 22 days, you imagine, the when you are inside the Buddhist pagoda, so 22 days you need to maintain noble silence. Silence is that you don't speak. Noble silence is that you don't gesture, you don't point like this, you don't smile, you don't frown, you just exist. That's noble silence. Arya Mon, as it is written in Vedic language. And food was over two meals, one breakfast, one lunch, and that's the end of the solid food of the day, right? By 12 noon or so. And then the whole day it is, you are doing meditation. And of course, there are breaks in between, it is structured that way. And then there are some sermons are there in the evening. But essentially, you live a very Spartan life. You just live alone, kind of, although you are with another 35, 40 people, but you live alone. You can't talk to anybody. You don't have a cell phone, laptop, newspaper, news magazine, television. Family doesn't know what is happening with you. You don't know what is happening with the family. Leave aside the whole world. Nothing is known. You just be there, completely focusing. And it is tough. It's very, very tough. But if you cross just first 2, 3 days, it becomes truly, truly magical. And that's the beauty of Vipassana meditation. That's why it pulled me in. And what it did, it took me within me. It helped me meet me. I always ask people, have you met yourself? You keep meeting people. Have you met really yourself? Have you talked to yourself? It is sounding crazy, but have you been with yourself? Have a coffee with yourself, I tell people. Just sit by the side of the window, be with yourself. You don't need your cell phone, you don't need a company once in a while. And it is suggested, it is helpful. So that Vipassana 22 days Vipassana meditation experience actually gave me the vision of my own self. Who am I? Kind of self care, self love, how it is important. And when I carried all that forward into the outside world, I was definitely more loving, more kind, more compassionate, because then that self love and self care is spilling over into care for all, compassion for all, kindness for all, and love for all. And that's what the impact of Vipassana meditation has been there. And I have been a regular practitioner, so it's like part of my life now.
It was quite amazing and that was quite insightful, sir. I was not aware of this practice earlier before this interview, but it definitely gave me some insight that how one can like find himself, as you mentioned, and how important is it in today's world because we are like all over the time on social media, exploring people, exploring life. Agree, but self exploration is also at the same time very important.
Yep.
Thank you, sir, for your answer.
Thanks. Thank
So
you.
another experience-based question is coming up for you. You underwent extensive training in yoga, pranayama, and studied Veda, Vedanta, and Upanishads. How do these ancient teachings contribute to the modern pursuit of happiness and success in life?
Yeah. So once again, yoga, Ved, these were part of the environment in which I have grown. So these were not like something new or fancy for me. But then once again during the pandemic, only this thought happened that let me become a get trained formally, and actually I became a yoga teacher. So I'm certified yoga teacher also. And in yoga, normally what people see, there's a physical asana, right? It's not just physical asana, much more than. It's about breath, it's about balance, it's about Vedic knowledge, it's about understanding Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishad. And that's what was the training which I underwent thoroughly. And what it showed me that, these all scriptures and that we are talking about, I'm talking about more than 5,000 year old, right? So even at that point in time, it was clearly figured out that there is something called self, the Atman, the the person himself or herself. That's the beginning of the journey. And then the social aspect, the community aspect, the environmental aspect, the environmental life, as I have written as the fifth life in my book, the Penta Life. All asanas, if you see closely, they are designed and named after either a plant or an animal. Okay, so can you see the connect? What it is trying, what these teachings really told me, that you have multiple lives within your own life. We often get stuck in our professional life. We're continuously into that doing, achieving, aspiring, designations, and uh, power, and we are lost there. Luckily, in India, I can say that we have good personal life, most of us. But what gets lost is the self part, because that comes from by being with you, by having me time, by doing meditation, by being mindful. And also the social life, which we miss when we move out of our places of where we get educated or where we've stayed, and we go to new place, we establish ourselves. Our personal life extends into social life, our professional life becomes our social life. There need to be a distinct social life, and it is possible. And then of course the environmental life, we need to spend time. So when I look through the way, it clearly showed the path, that you go out, be there with the plants and animals, you're related, you have a common ancestor. The plants also came from the same unicellular structure which took shape, the first living structure at the bottom of the sea, millions and millions of the years ago. From there only plant, animal, everything has happened. You are interconnected, you're related. Go spend time with them. Go with an animal. You will feel the connect. Go around the greens. You will feel connect. Leave aside that. Even how the earth has come into the picture. No, earth also was part of big solar nebula which was there, which, Big Bang theory, and then one small piece came away and that cooled down and turned into earth, right? So somewhere we are part of that universe, larger universe, in which life got created from non-living substance. So whether it is living, whether it is non-living, anything that exists in this universe, anything that exists on this planet Earth, we are connected to that. If you feel that connect, it's really, really uplifting. And that's where your real happiness, well-being, and true sense of success comes. And that's what I learned. It's a very deep learning which I have had during the yoga training, but this is what really came to me. And clear, the five dimensions of life became so very clear after going through that training.
That's another very insightful answer to hear to sir. And definitely, we often say that ancient teachings, ancient knowledge, but I believe that that knowledge, particularly Vedas, Upanishads, the practice of yoga, are themselves very modern and very ahead of the time we are living in today. Because somewhat in the race of the life, we have forgotten that the core basics or the core values of the life are just not getting yourself into a position of power, authority, but also maintaining yourself, your own energy, and having a very compassionate and personal life, and finding a common background with your environment also, as you rightly mentioned. That was really insightful to know that, sir. And this is a much needed advice, I would say,
Yeah,
to
thank you
all the
so much.
professionals who must be listening to this. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, the next question to you is about your professional life And as a professional certified coach and an emotional intelligence assessor, how has your background in coaching and emotional intelligence assessment shaped your approach to life and well-being in the Penta Life?
Yeah, so again, I have had, as is always been my habit, I come from the corporate world. I am a sales and marketing person, commercial excellence, market access, key account. These are my domains. Running businesses is what my domain is. But then I picked up coaching because it made a huge difference to people. It's into people development. It's a big contributing area. I got thoroughly trained. I have more than 200 hours of training actually, and from some of the very leading institutes by accredited by International Coaching Federation. But apart from that, I have also done a beautiful course from Yale University, and it is a course on science of well-being and happiness. What I found really, one thing which appealed to me the most was that the discipline of positive psychology. Positive psychology tells you when you are looking for happiness, you see, more often than not, it is the material pursuits which are there, the aspirations, the designation, as I said, the bigger designation, the swankier car, the larger house, the bigger bank balance, next level of achievement, superstar, super achiever, and we keep so it's just doing. From human being we turn ourselves into human doings, and then we feel, why it is that I'm not happy? What I'm searching for that happiness in the malls and those takeaway foods, because we are not chasing something which will give us lasting happiness. And that lasting happiness is what positive psychology has tried showing, that look, if you are always on this achievement path, always on this aspirational path, you will always set a new benchmark, you will ask a new level. Now you reached a level, you want another level, so you start chasing that also. So what will happen? You will be busy again, you will not necessarily be happy, whatever you may say. So what positive psychology also says, that take care of yourself, be part of the community. And even positive psychology says, go out into the greens, be in nature. It's absolutely powerful. And that's what I have seen in all my coaching and emotional intelligence, and even that happiness certification that I have from Yale. And that's what I have also brought forward and into my book, The Penta Life. And I have not only shown it that why and what of happiness and well-being through those sources from positive psychology, but also that we know how you can do it, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So yes, from my coaching also, I have taken a lot into my book.
Okay, that was really insightful. And I completely agree that we are somewhat in our daily lives looking for small little temporary happiness giving things. As you said, going to malls, going to places. But we have forgotten that what actually is the long lasting happiness that we can achieve. The pursuit of life should be that long lasting happiness rather than the temporary happiness we are looking in our day to day lives.
Yeah.
Moving on, sir, with over 3 decades of corporate experience and leadership development, what insights from the corporate world do you bring to the concept of living a life in all 5 dimensions?
Yeah, so please remember, corporate life ultimately is like a microcosm of our real world. Corporate world is not something which is different. Anybody who says that they go to office, they become a different person, no. You go out to social circle, you become a different person, no. You come back home, you become a different person, no. You are the same person in every single sphere where you are entering, right? So the corporate life have had its has its own significance. What significance is there? And I look at four things, and I'll actually read it through. Being at your optimum, being at your best, you can say. Second is collective value creation. You join hands with others to create value in this world. Right impact on the world. That what you are doing is making a difference to make this world a better place, and really ensuring that you're not damaging, you're not harming the environment. And interdependent existence. That collectivism which is there. These are the four key aspects of the corporate world. Those who follow this, definitely who those thrive. Those organizations who follow, they also thrive. If you look at nature, the same thing exists. If you look at personal life, if you look at social life, the same set of values, value, and parameters exist in their own way, but they do exist. So the corporate life and the personal life and the social life, they all follow the same continuum, and we operate in that. But what I have, when I have brought those learnings into the Penta Life, when I was writing, what I have brought in that, when I was writing particularly the professional life, which is the fourth life in the Penta Life, I mentioned that we are not just human beings, we are value beings also. That's where we derive the maximum satisfaction. If we are able to create new value, if we are able to co-create value, if we are able to contribute value, that's where the real satisfaction, the inner satisfaction comes. And when the satisfaction comes, the happiness happens, the well-being happiness happens, and you really feel that yes, I have been successful. So that's what comes from my corporate experience.
I loved the way you explained that how all kinds of life we say, like we often tend to differentiate between personal, social, and corporate life, but how you really mentioned that it is all the same. Like the basics of all these three lives is the same, and the principles are also the same. And we must follow and abide by those principles to get our daily lives correct and contribute to make this world a better place. Definitely, sir. Sir, you mentioned being a thought leader for over a decade. Can you share a key realization or insight from your years of thought leadership that directly relates to the principles outlined in your book?
Yeah, so I have been lucky. I would say that somehow I have been on the internet right from the beginning. When all this started, couple of decades or 2.5 decades back, I would say, and I have been learning quite a lot from the web. I have a big learner from the web, and after a certain point, I started contributing also. And then somebody sitting in Germany noticed my contributions and invited me all the way to Germany to deliver. I first talk I delivered in a global forum in Düsseldorf, Germany. And of course, I prepared, when delivered, I did really well there. I felt good. Then I came back, and then some people here also, some friends got in touch, and I started speaking, and I've never stopped speaking and writing for the last 11 years now. So what I realized, there are two things which I realized, that when I am doing this, what it is really appealing to me is that sense of contribution, that I am able to give back to the industry, that I am able to give back to the society, that I am able to create something of value whenever I write an article, whenever I like this book I have created. This is absolutely, I feel, one value that I have contributed to this wonderful world of ours. So that sense of contribution is something at the core of my being a thought leader, whether I am writing, whether I am speaking. The other aspect is that, luckily for me, again, I have been into multiple functions. In 17 18 years in the head office, I was in 4 or 5 different kind of domains, leading them most of the time. Now, when you are switching from one to another, you need to learn. And when you are, that enhances your learning. How you stay touch with what you left behind. I left commercial excellence little behind, moved into market access. How to stay in touch in commercial excellence? Then you started taking speaking. I started taking speaking sessions on the commercial excellence, for which I needed to re-prepare, update myself, which enhanced my learning. So learning became the second important part. So sense of contribution and learning. It is said that when you teach, you learn twice. So these are the two things I would say that is a gift from my thought leadership. And that gets reflected. I have mentioned that in my book as well. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very valuable and it will be very valuable to our listeners. Next in line, Amlesh sir. In the Penta Life, you discuss the five dimensions of life leading to happiness, well-being, and success. Could you briefly explain these dimensions and why they are crucial in today's world?
Yeah. So again, I will take the discussion back to the evolution. At the bottom of the sea, that first unicellular happened, then unicellular became multicellular, then some plant forms, then animal forms. And the first to invade the land was what? Not animals, but the plants. So plants and animals came, evolution kept on happening, and then amphibians, mammals, then humans also kept on evolving. And as the humans evolved, and even some other animals involved, societies, and even fish has a family, that chimpanzees and apes have their
Yes,
society,
they do.
right?
They do.
So it keeps on happening. Then so you see, where we have started, we have started with one single unit entity. It moved and became society. Then it moved, agriculture happened. So you needed to settle down somewhere. Earlier, the parentage was very difficult to ascertain who is whose child, kind of. Then family took shape. People started staying in single place because you have cultivated a land, you have prepared a land now. So from hunting gathering, now we move to agriculture also. So families got created as an entity. Then some trades happened. Somebody became better with wood, some became better with metals, some became a better hunter, somebody became a better farmer. So different people started acquiring different skills, and those professional life also developed. And even though I've written about environmental life as our fifth life, you think about it. It's not Nature is not a place to visit. Nature is home. You are nature. Each one of us are nature. We are not something superior, great humans. Every single animal, every single plant which exist in the sea, on the land, wherever they are, they all are related. We have common ancestors. So the environmental life, if you feel good by being by the side of an animal, if you feel good by being in a forest, it is very natural. So that's what the environmental life, and that's what, if you look at civilizations also, I have not mentioned about it as yet. All ancient civilization, if you see, so somebody was worshipping the sky, somebody was worshipping the sun, somebody was worshipping. We still worship the rivers, the mountains, the plants. There is a meaning to all that. So these are the five distinct lives: the self life, the social life, the personal life, the professional life, and the environmental life, which is there. And if we live these lives in a really, really conscious and intentional way, nothing can stop us from being truly happy. It's a sustainable happiness. It will not be shaken by any other thing that happens to you. So these are the five lives, is what I have written in my book. Of course, it is in complete details.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So collectivism again coming up.
Yeah.
What I can get from your answer was
Yeah, so
collectivism
just
and why
one
it's
part,
important.
I just one part which I missed here. You mentioned about how it is important for our
Sure,
world today.
yeah,
Say we are hyper connected world, right?
definitely, definitely.
Absolutely hyper connectivity is there. But
Hmm,
at the same time, paradoxically, we are highly fragmented world. One small nidus and there is war. One small nidus and there are riots. One small nidus and something goes wrong somewhere and we start fighting with each other. we
definitely.
are we are absolutely destroying our environment. So world, we need to understand that this oneness, there is a certain degree of oneness is there between two human beings, between us and our world, between us and the river and the plants and the animals. Respect that oneness. Don't fight. We need to be together. We need to be one. And that's what is the Penta Life at the corest of the core all about.
It's so amazing, sir, and I can relate to it because a few days back G20 happened, G20 summit in India happened, and we came up with this message only that world together is a one family, and we should go ahead thinking about the together as a family and not being divided as nations. So amazing to know the common things coming up. Sir, my next question is also regarding your book. So I want to ask, who is the target audience for your book, and what do you hope readers will take away from it when they apply it in their lives?
Yeah. So it's I also come from a marketing background, so it is needed that you must do very sharp targeting. You know, age group, gender, blah blah blah, and all is there. No, when you write a book on life, what targeting do? You tell me. When I was writing through the book, I was thinking about those individuals who are somehow not feeling that kind of a happiness. That happiness lasts over the weekend, and then again you are back to that 5 days of the treadmill starts, and you don't know when ultimately Friday comes, where you are thrown into some party zone, and then again next day morning you don't feel full, you still feel hollow. That real happiness. And in the pandemic, across age group, these questions have been asked to ourselves. Everybody is asked this question, that life is important. What is really life? And that's what I have tried writing in my book. And hence, when I talk about target, it is a book for, if you have to see that, okay, who will understand this. You talk about self as a concept. How many people will say, okay, this is some airy fairy stuff. Meet yourself, somebody will say you are crazy. I say, have coffee with yourself, and they say, yaar, tera kuch problem hai. So, but then fact remains that these are the fundamentals which are embedded in us through evolution. These are the fundamentals which have been talked by every ancient civilization in the world. These are the fundamental five lives that has been there in the scriptures. These are the fundamental five lives that have been proven through modern research also. So then these five lives that I'm talking about is critical for everybody across age group. Again, somebody was telling me that you should be talking to schools. I said, okay, this will be a little too early. And actually, I was meant to go and talk to +2 students. And I told them why it is important, the environment, at least the social, that why you should be involved. Don't get lost in your cell phone and laptop and your games. Go out in the physical world. So said learnings are there, the takeaways are there for everyone. And that's how I have actually, some of the feedback which have come after the book has been published. Somebody wrote back, it is a life manual. Somebody wrote back, this is the book for generations. Somebody wrote back that it's a valuable addition to the art of living program itself. Somebody wrote that back to me. And somebody wrote back so beautifully that this book should be a permanent companion by the side of your bedside, because it's like a compass. So, this book, again, for anybody who is searching for true and lasting happiness, well being, and true success. What is, again, I am coming back to say, so the true success is not in those material and aspirational pursuits. The true success is in being loving and caring for others, being compassionate and kind to others, being taking care of that person who needs help, being taking care of that animal that need to be protected, be, tending to that plant which needs tending and watering. That's where success lies. And that's what I have, written in the best possible way that I could. And I'm written, it's like you talk about takeaways. It's written like, structure is why, what first have I explained, so that you really get a hang of that, why I am saying what I am saying in this book about five lives. Then part is completely devoted to how, each section, each life, how to live that life, how to secure I being, how to be a good professional, how to take care of nature and environment, step by step I have written. So those are very critical takeaways that anybody can find who goes through the book. Yeah.
Sir, my next question is personal question. Can you share a personal anecdote or story from your own life that illustrates the practical application of the principles discussed in the book, like the principles we discussed earlier? Yeah.
Yeah, so I tell you, I thanks to yoga and meditation, I live a really, really rich self life. I really spend time with myself. I'm very selfish in that aspect. I find time for me, doing nothing, just being out there on the road, out there by the side of the window. I play cricket and I am big lover of music and singing also. I have a social circle which has nothing to do with my personal and professional life. They don't know that I was a director or this business or that business, nothing to do. I get shouted at by a 20-year-old in a cricket field if I commit a mistake. And I play serious level of cricket. I mean, I play season ball cricket. That's how I have secured my social life. Of course, I am lucky to have a loving family, and I have actually, my book is inspired by my wife and my two children. And then coming to environmental life, professional life, as you could see, that even though I was inside my organization 1.5 years back, I stepped out. I was always going out and talking in the forums, sharing my knowledge and wisdom with others. That was from the sense of contribution. So I lived a rich professional life beyond my own organization also. And even now, today, when I am here, when I have become a coach, when I have become an author, when I have become a consultant, mentor, and now even a facilitator, I'm part of all. I try to give it back. So I'll keep on writing articles. I keep on giving talks related to that. I keep on guiding people to become a coach. I just know yesterday somebody got in touch with me and I became a mentor to that person, somebody who's sitting all the way back in Paris. So, it's that professional life. And as far as environmental life is concerned, I spend quite a lot of time out there in the greens, taking care of animals. Luckily, I have chosen a place to stay just next to the national forest. I can walk into national forest by walking in. So I'm having a rich professional life. So I have really lived through all that. And as far as anecdotes you were talking about, my book is full of stories from my personal life. Lot of stories I have written in every section, all five lives I have written. And one of them I was just sharing with you, that I was bicycling into those ancient around those ancient ruins, where one monk started asking me question, what is life? And he kept on asking what is life. I kept on answering, after which I was not having any answers to give. He still asked, is this life all about? And that struck the 12, 13-year-old somehow. So I have enough and more anecdotes which I have shared in my book also. I'm sure you will love reading them.
Definitely, sir. I would personally love it. Uh, I would love reading the book you have written, and I'm really looking forward to get this book now because a lot of insights have come up to my mind today, and a fresh perspective is also added. Definitely. And sir, as we move ahead, I'm coming up with the last question to you, and it's basically an advice. What advice do you have for individuals who are embarking on the journey of self-discovery and exploration of life?
First is advice: spend time with yourself. This may sound, little strange. Have coffee with yourself, just you, coffee, and you. What I have seen when I have closely analyzed the life of all around me or my own life, what I could see, that say we are able to live a good personal life. Mostly if you have nice family, you have built a family around you, good personal life you lead. Professional life also, we are like good workers. We really spend a lot of time. Instead of 8 hours a day, we spend 12 hours every day. So even professional life also, to a great extent, we are spending. Say, not that we can't be getting better in personal professional life, we can get better, but we there is a certain degree of success there which is there. But when it comes to self life, you know that uh, being with yourself, spending time with yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, prioritizing yourself, that is something that needs to become better. That needs to become better. Social life, again, as I was mentioning, more often than not, we lose our social life when we step away from our place where we grow up or where we get educated. And personal life and professional life, by extension, become our social life. Create a social life. And how it can be done? Very simple. You remember one passion. You used to play cricket, you used to play badminton, you played tennis, football, whatever is there. Revive that. Find out a group of people around you. You don't find out group of people, create your own group. Other is find that purpose. You want to contribute to a purpose, child education, healthcare, taking care of orphans, taking care of elderly. There can be many ways. Taking care of the forest, taking care of animals. So there can be many things, a sense of purpose that you derive from earlier. There you can again step into and create your own circle around that. So social life, you can revive that. This is the second one. And the last one is the environmental life, which I am saying again and again and again. Step out, spend some conscious time. Psychological research, positive psychology, social sciences research are repeatedly saying these things. When somebody is having a mental well-being, mental health problem, emotional well-being problem, make them part of a community, take them to green areas. If you are having yourself, step out onto the, talk to the strangers. Even that is getting suggested. So build a community. That And today, lot of research is happening in the field of aging, healthy aging. Recently one big research report came. It talks about that only, community. All those who live longer have that community. All those who live happier, they have a community around them. And they all try to spend time in a green environment around animals and all. So this is what is my advice that is there, that revive these three lives: the self life, the social life, and the environmental life, and add to your personal and professional life. I don't have any doubt that you will really experience the true and lasting happiness that is definitely possible. And that's what I have written in complete details in my book, The Penta Life.
Sir, as we end the session, I would like to mention one thing, that your perspectives about life, your book, The Penta Life, are coming up with so young points, so young perspectives again, that I feel that I myself, being only 22 years old, I am missing out on a lot of things in my life, and I'm really not well passionate about things like I should be on. And definitely, I'll start playing badminton again, which I've stopped playing from a long period of time. Just
Mm.
like you love playing cricket, I also love playing badminton, and I'll definitely do that again. And I was just thinking in my head that yes, it is so important to get your things that you love to do it on a daily basis or bi-weekly and whenever you get time, just to make feel that you are alive and you are having something. And as we end the session, I would like to add that good things must need an end for better things to come up. And as we end this session, thank you
I'm
so much, sir, for joining us today. Yes,
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm happy that my whatever that I have shared has resonated with you, and you can imagine how difficult it is for me to create targeting of this book in terms of that this age group and that age group. So this book is for everyone who really, really wants to pursue happiness, well-being, and success in the best possible way. It's the most organic way that is what I have written. And also even written in a very lucid and simple way. I have very intentionally de-intellectualized it, so it's not airy fairy stuff, it's real stuff, everyday, every life stuff. So, of course, take advantage of the book and you will be
Sure.
definitely be benefited. Thank you so much. I'm happy that I had this platform and the opportunity. I want to really thank Pharma State Academy. I want to thank Dr. Swati and Dr. Satish, and to you, Madhav, and also to Shazia.
Thank you so much, sir. And as we end the session today, for everyone who has been watching Humans of Pharma and following us, I hope you enjoy this episode. Reach out to us if you have any suggestions for the future episodes by connecting with us on LinkedIn and other social media channels at Humans of Pharma page or by email at humansoffpharma@pharmastate.com.